Desarde, I'd like to know more about my family. I need to know what became of them. Could you accompany me to see Lady Morange? I'm afraid that without you, she may refuse to give me any information.
All right, Vasco. Let's go see Lady Lorraine Morange. It's blocked. It's blocked.
Good day, dear sir. Happy to see you again in such fine health. How can I be of service?
We would like to have some information regarding an important family, the Darcys.
Well, I could tell you many things about them, but I suppose that you want to know something in particular?
Are there any members of this family on the island?
Indeed, Bastien Darcy, the son of the family, has been in New Serene for some time. Last I heard about it, he was doing business, but that doesn't help in knowing where he is. The Darcys' first attempt at establishing themselves on this island wasn't very fruitful, but I seem to recall that since then the son has found a competent associate who's been working here for a long time.
Perfect. Could you tell us where to find her?
Of course. Ask for a Madame Clerc near the warehouses on the port. That's where she normally is. I hope the Darcys are not in trouble.
Don't worry, madam. Their name was simply mentioned in some business discussions. We are thinking about becoming associates. We would like to know more about them to form an opinion.
If you ask me, you should forget this idea, Your Excellency. Their son is a poor business partner.
Why do you say that?
I do not mean to speak ill of him. Perhaps it would be better for you to form your own opinion.
Well, thank you for your help, madam.
Can I help you with any other matter?
My lady, I have to go. Goodbye.
Come closer, good people. The cure
Can I help you? Are you here to do business?
Are you Madam Clerk?
We would like to meet with your associate, Mr. Darcy.
Bastian? I don't know where he is. I can't say that he often graces us with his presence.
You don't have the slightest idea where he is?
I am not his caretaker, you know.
You don't seem to hold him in high regard.
Listen, my relationship with my associate is no one else's concern. And if you didn't come to do business, well...
We must find him. This man you can see by my side is his brother.
Do not insult my intelligence. I know that the Darcys only have one son, alas.
You can see the Naught tattoos on his face, can't you? And a merchant like you must surely know about the Naught's recruiting process.
So it is true. The Darcys gave away one of their children. I find it hard to believe. He was supposed to go to Hikmet to deal with one of our clients, but I didn't receive any news from him after his departure. And given his tendency to get himself into impossible situations, I didn't try to get any.
Who is this client?
His name is Ferrat. You'll find him in the Alchemist District. I'll write this down.
You think something may have happened to him there?
His mission wasn't very complicated. He had to pay for a valuable shipment and take charge of it. But with Bastian, anything is possible.
Thank you, madam.
If you come to do business, you should go upstairs. I am but a poor underling.
Hello, sir. Is this the house of the man called Ferrat?
It is I. What can I do for you?
We're searching for Mr. Darcy. He was supposed to come here to do business.
Yes. Yes, he did come here, but I don't know where he is. To be honest, our exchange did not exactly go as planned. And if you are his associate, or a member of his family, know that you owe me a large sum of money.
How so?
Well, this Darcy fellow came here to take the shipment, and he was supposed to deliver me a promissory note.
Which never arrived, I imagine. How could you let him leave with your merchandise without payment?
Well, he's the son of a very well-known family. I did not deem it necessary to try and obtain more guarantees.
What if something happened to him?
Nothing happened. At least I don't think so. And why should that concern me? I'm not his brother. He owes me money, and I do not have the slightest idea of where he might be.
I suspect that you're not telling us everything.
Oh, come on. If you have not come to repay his debt, leave me alone so I can work in peace. I already told you that I do not know where this man is. Leave me alone!
Greetings. If you have come to do business, head upstairs, if there's any business left to do.
Why'd you say that?
They haven't been paying me, and I've had to work with cheap ingredients for weeks.
Have you heard of a man called Bastian Darcy?
It would be difficult not to. His name is the only thing my boss talks about. Apparently, he did not pay for one of our shipments and still left with the goods. And now my boss makes me work twice as much to compensate for his losses. With ingredients I wouldn't even feed to a pig.
And what did your boss do?
Well, he spent every waking hour cursing his name. That's how I learned about it.
What do you do here exactly?
I create and prepare complex potions. Not simple health potions, but far more subtle things.
And if I'm not mistaken, things are not going the way you would want them to.
The boss has always been difficult, but ever since he got ripped off, it has been a living hell. I work using leftovers thrown away by all the other alchemists, while listening to him screaming at me and everyone else all day. This is no way to live.
How can a brilliant, conscientious alchemist keep working here? I am certain that any great laboratory in town would welcome you with open arms. So why continue protecting your employer?
Oh, you're right. Anywhere is better than here. My boss did not only curse the name of the man you're looking for, he also hired some thugs to find him and our shipment.
Interesting. I think we may need to have a few words with your employer.
If you could also tell him that I am resigning, then I won't need to go upstairs.
You again. I already told you that I do not know where the man you're searching for is.
You may not know where he is, but you did everything you could to find him, didn't you?
What do you mean?
Does this document ring a bell? You hired some debt collectors to find Mr. Darcy.
How dare you rummage through my belongings?
You could have taken legal action and retrieved what you were owed, but you sent some killers instead.
I doubt the governor would approve. Do you want us to tell him about it?
No. But please, understand me. The Darcy family is on the continent. It would take months for them to reply to my complaint. What other solution was there? My shop will not survive this.
Tell us who these debt collectors are and we'll take care of it.
They loiter in an alleyway of ill repute, not far from here, in the Science District.
That's what I feared. Probably a bunch of cutthroats. If Bastian survives...
If he survives, remind him of what he owes me.
fairy flasks, you'll find the quintessence of alchemy. The best potions and the most efficient concoctions. All around Salisbury.
Have mercy! Have mercy! I will repay everything.
Hey, you! Leave this man alone!
What do you want? No one asked you for your opinion, so get lost.
Maybe he's friends with the weakling.
Maybe. In any case, it seems like he wants to share his fate.
You think I'm afraid? I've fought uglier people than you.
Vasco, let me try to take care of this. How much money are we talking about? You're here to collect a debt, right?
Between what he owes our client and our commission, it's a hefty sum. But if you want to pay in his stead, my lord, please do.
I don't think you realize who you are dealing with, so let me introduce myself. My name is de Sardet. I am the legate of the congregation, and I am here to save the life of one of our citizens. If you do not deliver him to me immediately, I will have no choice but to inform the governor.
And you'll end up rotting in jail in no time.
Haha, what a bunch of jokers. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah. Should we show them that we're not here to joke around?
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
All these blue bloods are tuppence.
Thank you for your intervention. I thought these brutes would kill me.
Don't mention it. It's only natural.
But how did you end up in such a situation?
Oh, I'm certain someone like you, who belongs to high society, will understand. There is a game table here that is attended by the best of the aristocracy. I lost the money I owed to that merchant while playing there. And since I got out with a few other debts, I had to leave the merchandise as repayment as well. But that's a mere trifle that my father would have paid for without thinking twice. I never would have thought that someone would send these types of brutes after me. What a lack of tact. In any case, I'm extremely grateful to you. To whom do I have the honor of speaking?
My name is Captain Vasco. Naught and Sea Given. It was a pleasure, sir. De Sardet, can I do anything for you?
Do you wish you were never given to the Nords?
How could I not be regretful? I never got to experience a mother's love or a lavish youth.
Don't you have any happy memories?
I do, of course I do. For example, I remember the first time I climbed up the shrouds. The incredible view, the dizziness, the sensation of complete freedom. It was an unforgettable moment.
I can only imagine how you felt. But it sounds amazing.
It was. I wouldn't trade that memory for all the gold in the world. Thank you, de Sardet. You've given me a lot to think about. Did you want anything else?
How did you become a Nord?
As you may have guessed, I am Sea Given. I was given to the Nords when I was a little child, for a reason I ignore. I think I was originally from the congregation, but I have no memory of my family. I took my first steps on the deck of a ship. That's all I can remember. Did you want anything else?
Have you ever heard about the Darcys before?
No, I had not. As you know, there are many noble families in Serene, and there was a time when a lot of them had to give a child to the Nords.
I don't remember your family very well. but I could try to tell you about them if you want.
I would have loved to have met them. But I'm afraid that hearing about them may only reopen old wounds. You're a good person, de Sardet, and I'm touched by your solicitude. Did you want anything else?
I must leave you.
Thank you, de Sardet.
My pleasure. But why didn't you tell him who you were?
But I did tell him. I was stupid. I resented everyone, and you even more, for the life I didn't get to live. You had it all, everything I thought I was entitled to. But after seeing Bastion, I realized that in the end, I was exactly who I wanted to be. A naught, and a proud one at that.
I'm glad to hear it. No more regrets?
No more regrets. And I certainly don't regret not being called Leandra Darcy.
Come closer! Come closer! All my wares are in the vanguard.
Hello, Captain.
Your Excellency, what can I do for you?
I must go. Goodbye, Captain.
Goodbye, Your Excellency.
Bit of poison on my blade. Let's see if you can ward off this fate. The armor will no longer protect you. Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! Let's see if you can ward off this fate.
You have returned. The rule is still the same, you know.
I will return later.
If you have a seal, you will be welcome. If not, you are wasting your time and mine.
Bit of poison on my blade. And let's go! Let's see if you can ward off this feint. And let's go! Armor will no longer protect you! Let's see if you can ward off this fight! I need healing! I need healing! Let's see if you can ward off this fight!
Broken, set that!
A bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! Let's see if you can ward off this fight!
Hello. The Mother Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have a lot to do.
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village had been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writings, and then I stayed.
What was the reaction of the natives when you arrived here?
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them. They were afraid we might chase them out of their own village. And there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of Saint Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Were there any confrontations with the natives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminous actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug, but we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
Thank you. This information will certainly prove to be useful. I talked to Father Justinius. He told me that you were supervising the theologians here.
Indeed. It is under my supervision that the research on Saint Matthias is conducted.
Whom do you suspect of being the thief?
Oh, alas. I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us. Or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Matthias later. But first, we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to, but I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
I imagine someone was keeping watch over them.
Of course, we took turns guarding the shack. But some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you. Especially if you managed to retrieve the tablets for us.
Thank you. I will let you work.
If you are saying that these tablets bear writings from the very hand of our holy founder, then we must find them. Without them, all our research to trace the life of St. Matthias on this island is doomed to failure. If these savages have stolen them, we will have to take them back, by force if necessary.
Greetings, de Sardet. I am handling the investigation into the theft of the tablets. Sister Eugenia told me to talk to you.
I'm Brother Virgil. What would you like to know?
Have you been in Eden for a long time?
2 months, approximately. Back then, there were still some pagan natives in the village. I joined Sister Eugenia's team with some of my colleagues, so we could give them a fresh outlook on things. We arrived straight from Ptolemy, hoping to study some new texts. But once we were here, I understood that my real mission was with the islanders. We must bring the light to this island.
How are your relations with the natives?
When I arrived, we were still trying to obtain information from them about St. Matthias, but they were very reluctant to give us any answers. We were also trying to educate them. Our attempts eventually made some of the inhabitants of the village react badly. Most stubborn against our teachings, the warriors, and the marked. The ones the natives call the Onomanawi. They eventually left. And it has proved nothing but a blessing for us.
You talked about a mission with the natives. What did you mean by that?
I may be under the command of Sister Eugenia here, but my superior is Bishop Domitius. Our mission is to banish pagan cults and convert the entire population to the light. The island belongs to Saint Matthias, and therefore to Ptolemy, since the God of Light offered it to our founder.
You have a very unique way of seeing things. I doubt everyone accepts it.
I would like to go back to work now, if you don't mind.
Of course. According to your colleague, you were the one in charge of guarding the tablets on the night of the theft. Is that right?
Indeed.
What can you tell me about that night? Did you hear or see anything?
No, nothing in particular. The night was quiet, and then the morning after, we saw they were gone.
Someone had to enter the shack to steal the tablets. How did that happen?
I have no idea. The door was closed in the morning, and the lock was intact.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Not really. What I can tell you for sure is it is not one of us.
Well, Sister Eugenia did tell me that the tablets were priceless.
Of course. But our motivation is not the lure of profit. All that matters to us is their value as proof, not the money we could make out of them.
Do you think the culprit could be a native?
Well, since none of us did it, it seems obvious. There aren't many other settlers around here. And the natives knew of the existence of these tablets before we found them. They were attached to them too, in their own way.
They are the ones who led you to them.
Well, we conducted the research, but they helped us find where they were hidden. Some inhabitants of the village are still giving us a hand with our work.
Well, thank you. I will investigate where the theft took place.
As you wish. But you won't find anything there. And why does it matter, anyway? There were witnesses to the discovery of these tablets. We have all the proof we need. And that's all that matters.
What do you mean?
Now we can prove Saint Matthias lived here. Our actions on this island are justified. To keep rummaging the way Sister Eugenia does will only create more tensions with the natives.
I was not expecting a theologian to say such things. I will leave you to your work. Goodbye.
You have returned on Manawi. Do you need something else?
I've heard a lot of things about this village of Eden, but I'd like to hear your version.
I'm not sure I have the answers to all of your questions, but I'll try.
Tell me about the arrival of the people of Ptolemy, and how you received them.
The priests were roaming around the village. They were saying that it was the place where their saint had lived. They were asking questions, talking about the Lloyd and all these things. One morning they were building houses next to ours. And we had new neighbors.
The priests told me that they had managed to convert you. How did that happen?
As long as we refused to listen to them, they were violent, and they destroyed some of our sanctuaries. So we let them talk. And now that they think that we love their god, they leave us alone. Some of the things they say are beautiful, and their magic is impressive. But we do not forget our spirits.
One of the theologians told me that you had helped them in their research.
They wanted to find tracks of the old sage, of the one they call Saint Matthäus, and they were rummaging through everything. Our Donegad did not want to tell them anything, because the old sage is sacred here. But since they violently interrogated everyone, I thought it wise to guide them to the place where the stones were.
What happened to your warriors? Why did they have to leave the village?
They did not accept the presence of the priests and their questions. They tried to retake the village. They even asked Deirdre, the chief of Vedlug, for her help. So, the priests called the Soul Lasser, the Burning Suns, and they killed many of them. I asked for peace, and the others left us. They wanted to join Vedlug. Perhaps they have done so.
Aren't you angry after all that happened?
No. I mourn those who died, of course, and the Vorstyrent. But this village may be our opportunity.
Your opportunity for what?
For the Renaigse to understand who we are. Not savages, nor monsters, but men, perhaps wiser than they are.
I have to go.
Like so many others.
Father.
I'm glad to see you, my child. What can I do for you?
And how well have neighboring villages welcomed you?
With some reluctance, to be perfectly honest. So, we sent them missionaries. There are still frequent conflicts with the village of Vedlug, a highly violent village of heretics. But the other villages, the more peaceful ones, are slowly starting to listen to the sacred word.
How well do you get along with the natives who live here?
Very well, of course. Especially since those who opposed our presence left.
Left? To go where?
Oh, to other villages, I imagine. Does it even matter? Those who stayed are on the path of enlightenment. Some of their legends must have been about Saint Matthäus. That helped to convince them.
Why share this village with the natives?
To replicate and resume the work of our founder, of course. If he came here and managed to convert the natives, then it is our duty to do the same thing. By living side by side with them, it is much easier for us to pass on our teachings.
Tell me about how you created this village.
We did not create it from the ground up. It was built around an existing native village. The islanders called it Vigsenegad, which translates to the village of the old sage. We saw it as a sign. The natives had probably chosen this name in memory of Saint Matthäus, and everything here fit the description of Saint Lucius. The discovery of the tablets proved us right. So, we decided to rebuild our Eden here, in the spirit of peace and harmony which is described in the scriptures.
There are no Onol Manawi and no warriors here either. Did they all leave?
Perfect harmony takes time, my child. I have no doubt that one day we will manage to convince your kind to convert. But, in the meantime, we must settle for the miracle of great coexistence that this place already represents. Nobody thought we could live side by side with your people. And yet...
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
I knew that the story would be more complex than we'd been told.
The priests separated this village into two parts. The exiles must be broken-hearted, having left their clan behind.
On the other hand, had they followed their chief's example, this wouldn't have happened. Either way, the resentment here is strong enough for a theft to occur. There is only one entrance and the door shows no evidence of a break-in.
Brother Virgil can't have cared less about these relics. He must have fallen asleep on duty. And then, someone must have just stolen the keys from him.
It's very likely that that's what happened. But someone must have informed them. It can't be a coincidence that they decided to steal it during the watch of the only neglectful guard.
So, we have to find their accomplice. The one that informed them, and who must be in the village.
We know that this theft could be an act of vengeance by the natives who were forced to leave here. They must still have allies in the village, family or friends. We should go talk to the chief of the natives. He will certainly know who is close to the exiles, and enough about the researchers to inform them.
You have returned on Manawi. Do you need something else?
I think I know who stole the tablets.
Really?
I believe those who were exiled from your village seek vengeance because the missionaries forced them to leave. They must have taken the tablets with the help of someone else who stayed here.
You may be right, but you may also be wrong.
You do well to tell me what you know. Once the priests have reached the same conclusions as I have, how do you think they will interrogate you?
I do not think they will hurt us. They want peace too, and violence would break it all.
I understand why you are no longer the chief, if you do not even know what the inhabitants of your village are doing.
You're right. I was indeed a bad chief. I couldn't even convince those who left to stay.
I understand why you are no longer the chief, if you do not even know what the inhabitants of your village are doing.
You're right. I was indeed a bad chief. I couldn't even convince those who left to stay.
Since you do not want to talk, I will have to tell the Mother Cardinal to send the Ordo Luminous. The Inquisitors will make you confess the name of the person who helped the exiles.
You wouldn't do that. The Solasser would burn the entire village.
He's not really leaving me a choice. Right. Let's go back to San Mateus.
Wait! I think the name of the woman you are looking for is Vindwal. She helps the priests who seek the old sage.
If she's helping the priests, why would she betray them now?
Her son is one of the warriors who had to leave the village. He is filled with anger and fury. If you go talk to her, please, do not hurt her. She is but a mother who acted according to her son's wishes.
I have no intention of hurting her, but things may not be so simple when it comes to her son. I have to go.
Like so many others.
Greetings. Are you Vindwal?
Bird Tear Tumad. Yes, that is me. What do you want?
What can you tell me about Lair, your former leader?
He is a man of peace. Some people dislike him, not me. Everything he did to save the village. But I think the Mind Shakers made him forget what we are. He almost speaks like them now.
Listen, I know you helped the exiles to steal the tablets of Saint Matthias.
No, this is not true. It wasn't me.
There's no point in denying it. I know you did it for your son who had to leave the village.
If you know that, then you know that I don't have the tablets. So what do you want from me?
The only means of alleviating the situation with Thélème is to give the priests their tablets back. So, if you don't want your son to suffer their wrath, it would be best if I could retrieve them discreetly.
Bran and the rest of the exiles are hiding in the woods, beyond the stone circle. If you want to take the tablets away from them without being seen, do not take the path on the left. It is riddled with traps. And please, do not hurt my son.
Here's the place that Vindwal indicated. The exiles must be near.
I hope you don't intend to fight them. They've already had to leave their families and their homes. They've suffered enough.
Don't worry, we'll be discreet.
Remember that we were told the area on the left was a trap. it would be smarter to take the other path.
There, we found them. Now all that's left to do is to return to Eden. What are you doing here?
I was worried for my son. I wanted to make sure that everything was fine.
I think so. I managed to retrieve the tablets discreetly.
I am glad to hear that you managed to retrieve them. I will go talk to my son now. He needs to stop seeking revenge and find a new clan.
That would indeed be wiser. Vengeance has no positive repercussions. I retrieved your relics.
Thank you. Thank you immensely. Thanks to them, we will be able to continue our research on St. Matthias.
I am curious to know who is responsible for this theft. The culprit must be brought to justice.
I do not want to point the finger at anyone. You have your relics back, and that's the only thing that matters.
Your indulgence honors you. But how can we be certain that these thieves will not strike again if they are not punished?
Had you respected this village, you would not have to look for a culprit. You settled here without even asking those who lived here for their opinion on the matter. Instead of talking about harmony, start taking action to really make it happen.
But that is precisely what we desire more than anything. We may have been a bit clumsy in the beginning, but We'll make sure to improve things in the future. You really were a great help. I would be most grateful if you agreed to continue helping us.
I might come back at some point, but alas, I'm very busy.
Naturally. Either way, we are certainly capable of continuing our research without you.
Actually, I must go back to my work. Our next expedition must depart as soon as possible.
Your next expedition?
Our brave researchers must continue to follow the tracks of our founder on this island. In the meantime, here, take this as a token of gratitude for the help you gave us.
Thank you. I hope your expedition will be a success.